Hello, today we're doing an unboxing and a first impression on the second batch of G-Wolves HSK, which has been rebranded the Husky this time, which I kind of like. It fits the wolf naming convention alongside the skull and the hearty. I got my Black Galaxy Day 1 edition here too. I'll be doing a comparison once we get the new mouse in hand. Checking out the box, I can see that you've got new switches on the side. It's got KEL GM8s. alongside a lot of extras. I know that my Black Galaxy came with pretty much nothing in the box, so it's nice to have a few extras this time. Okay, so opening up the tin, you can see that there's a pretty fresh smelling cologne, which pleased to say my desk now smells better than it has for a while, so thank you for that, G-Wolves. Got the fresh makeup brush. This is my 8th makeup brush now, I think. Not sure what I'm going to do with that one. A grey rubber spare wheel, which is pretty fantastic actually. I intended to use that with my Black Galaxy, so we'll use that later. And the mouse. So immediately what I can tell is that the paracord used is far more flexible than the initial black one used in the batch 1. I think I've got that here, in fact, which is a very stiff cord, no flex in it whatsoever. Comparison. This feels pretty good actually. It's obviously it's not as good as an aftermarket, but certainly not one that I'd advise people immediately replace. So that's good to see progress. Let's take a little look at the mouse, shall we? I went for the transparent purple, which isn't too purple in person. What I've noticed is that it has quite a textured plastic feel as opposed to the Black Galaxy here, which is slightly more, almost like a glossy sheen to it. So for a quick weight test of the new mouse with the stock cable versus mine with a paracord, we're at 37 grams, 38 grams exactly, which is dead on line with what the specs are on the side of the box, 38 grams plus or minus 2. So we're probably looking at about 37 grams with no paracord. And my modded mouse, 36.6, so a little bit heavier than the original mouse, but again, we're talking a gram or so. And certainly once I've got an aftermarket cord on this one, we might even see them aligned too. So certainly no differences there to report. Now there appears to be no change to the shape whatsoever. It almost looks like a one-for-one clone, but again I don't think that's a bad thing because I quite like the shape on the original HSK. It also has the protectors over the skates. I wonder what extras we have in this here. I think that they said that there was going to be more skates provided this time as opposed to the last, which didn't actually come with any. And what do we have? We have indeed a set of spare skates with a sensor ring, fantastic, and grips, which look and feel eerily close to the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, if anyone's familiar with those grips and that mouse. We also have a HSK Ace Edition, and it looks like it's telling me to download the software. Now that's different to the original, which had onboard changing for liftoff distance and polling rate. So I wonder if you can't change the liftoff distance and polling rate on the mouse anymore. That'd be interesting to see. Right, so super quick insert update from the future. I've now plugged this mouse in and tested it out, and my suspicions were correct that in fact this mouse has no native onboard ability to change the liftoff distance and DPI. See on this form here, it's missing from the instructions. On my launch edition, you can see that you are able to change the liftoff distance and the polling rate on the mouse using a button combination. It does say that you can download the software at gwolves.com. I think on the screen now you can see that I visited gwolves.com and couldn't find the download link for the software. I have tried to contact G-Wolves now to see if there is a software or firmware fix to be able to update it, because unfortunately the polling rate on the new colorways is unfortunately set to 500 Hertz and the liftoff distance is set at 3mm, unlike the Black Galaxy, which is at 1000 Hertz and customizable to 125 or 500 Hertz polling, with a lift-off distance set to 2mm, 3mm, or auto height. So just a super quick update insert here into the video. I don't know whether or not this is going to be fixed by the time you watch it. If there is a firmware or software update pushed out, I will make a quick update video to give you guys the link, but just be mindful that when you get the mouse, there will be 4 DPI stages as opposed to the 6 advertised. It will be set at 500 Hertz and the lift-off distance will be 3mm. Now, clearing this away, let's test out what the mouse feels like in hand to click. Okay, so the 8.0s are certainly noticeable. They feel slightly stiffer with a much more pronounced debounce on them. Scroll wheel still feels just as tactile. I've replaced my original mouse for TTC Gold 80 million V2s. So they've got a slightly softer click because for a lighter mouse I wanted a soft click. I think these KL 8.0s are completely usable. They're not something that you'd need to change. They are quite stiff for a mouse this light. But again, if you're used to Starlight 12 and the magnesium clicks, this is going to feel like a walk in the park. But yeah, overall, really impressed with the second batch from first impressions wise. No issues whatsoever with the clicks. Look and feel wise, I hold them both up here. I think it's very attractive actually. Certainly a mouse that I'd be happy to have on desk. It's got a bit of character, and in fact, I was so excited to get a mouse this purple. I've picked up a matching purple paracord, which I'm going to add to it just as soon as I get a chance to play with it and open the mouse up. But that's it for today. Just wanted to show the new colorway off, give you guys a chance to see it, give you an impression against the batch 1 for the people that missed out and regretted it. I don't think you missed out much. I think this second batch is, at least first impressions wise, feels as good if not better. Certainly comes with more accessories and has a better cable. So for those that waited, I think you did the right thing. Catch up later for a full review if there's anything major that needs to be called out on this mouse. Otherwise, I've got a review upcoming for the XM1R, which I'm currently using after I was recommended it by a friend. I really hope G-Wolves put out either the software update or a firmware fix that allows us to change the lift-off distance and the poll rate on this mouse as soon as possible. I've just added a paracord to my mouse and I'm absolutely delighted with how it looks, but unfortunately, with the lift-off distance at 3mm and half the polling rate of my Black Galaxy, I just can't find a reason to use it, and I'd encourage G-Wolves to address the problem quickly. If not, there's going to be a lot of unhappy customers, unfortunately, for what is otherwise a really fantastic looking little mouse.